Hi, my name is EleonThomas, and I want to talk to you tonight from this thought: video game violence and its effect on our youth. The video gaming industry has become one of the most profitable industries in today's society. From its inception of home video games with the Atari 2600, with known games such as Pac-Man, Asteroids, Pole Position, and so many more. The gaming industry has changed when the Japanese company Nintendo came out with their system in 1985. Their flagship game was Super Mario Bros. With Sega Genesis, their flagship game was Sonic the Hedgehog, who would zoom all over the place. As time we now face forward into the 21st century, gaming has taken to a new level. With the introduction of Sony's PlayStation 4 and with Microsoft Xbox 360, the gaming revolution has revolutionized the industry to make the games appear to be reality. That's all good, and I make no apologies about it because I was brought up in this age. Matter of fact, I gained a new perspective about the game of golf after playing the game Tiger Woods. Unfortunately, the gaming system, I believe, has taken a turn for the worse. No longer are the best-selling video games Mario Brothers and Olympic games, but now it's Call of Duty, like games like Grand Theft Auto. My purpose of this presentation is to make you aware and to inform you of the dangers and the need for monitoring our children when it comes to these violent video games. The first thing that I want to bring to your attention tonight is the impact of these video games. In a survey by Palo Alto Medical Foundation, it stated that 97% of our teens in the U.S. are playing video games. Studies show that video games with violent content are linked to more aggressive teens. The most popular video games are linked with violence. The content of these video games have changed from time when we were teenagers. Before, it was just only Super Mario Brothers and sports games. However, the content and the maturity of the games are changing. Take, for instance, Grand Theft Auto game. The title of the game ought to arrest you itself. Stealing cars, shooting cops, dealing with hookers and prostitutes. Is that the kind of game that we want to subject our children to? Before, back in the 19th and 20th century, games like Donkey Kong, the goal of it was to simply rescue a princess without getting hit by barrels. Or take Pac-Man. The goal is to eat all the dots without getting eaten by the enemies. What about Sonic the Hedgehog? The goal is to stop the Dr. Eggman from taking over the world. But now, when we fast forward now into the 21st century, we've got games like Mortal Kombat. And the goal is to win the tournament by killing their opponents. Or how about Grand Theft Auto again? Stealing cars, shooting cops, and having run-ins with prostitutes. Call of Duty is a co-op game about killing and shooting enemies. 89% of video games contain violence. Think about that. 89% of video games that are being made today are made up with violence. Now, I want to highlight some solutions that we can come up with as it relates to our children and our youth when we are subjecting these kids to these video games. The first thing that I want to highlight is to be involved and active in our kids' lives. Know what our kids are listening to. Know what our kids are playing on an everyday basis. It's okay to get in your kids' business. Get involved and be active in our kids' lives. But then, secondly, also be aware of what they're playing. Don't just buy the game and just say, here you go, and have fun. But know what your kids are playing and know what they are subjecting what we are subjecting our kids to. We all need to take a part, and we can all help our kids increase the violence that we see in our youth today by simply reducing the intake that they receive when spending hours and hours among hours watching and playing video games. Thank you, and have a good night.